Hey guys, Alex and Dad from 7th Hour Films back again with Doctor Who. Last time around was the Satan Pit. What happened on that one?
Well, it was the conclusion of a two-parter. They were on this planet that was circling a black hole, which seems impossible. And they apparently unleashed the devil, Satan himself, Beelzebub or whatever name he goes by in all the various languages, not only here on Earth, but in the universe. But they managed to destabilize the black hole.
So, yeah, essentially, his prison was the planet circling the black hole. And if he ever tried to escape, the planet would just be thrown into the black hole anyway. So it was kind of a lose-lose. But then he decided to separate his mind from his body, which went to Toby, and they were flying out of there, and the Doctor basically had to sacrifice Rose to the black hole in order to destroy both the mind and the body. But he counted on Rose being clever enough to make sure that the mind went into the black hole, not them. They did. He stumbled across the TARDIS and saved them.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there was, for all of the inconsistencies with science fiction, they were on the spaceship in the void of space. Rose blasted open the window to suck Toby's body out, which would have instantly depressurized and frozen them. But like 30 seconds later, they closed the shield and they're all right. So it's a minor point, but it just seemed kind of odd.
Well, yeah.
But anyway, so.
Maybe in the future they have a perpetual air generator machine that allowed them to do that. I don't know. I remember there was this is slightly an obscure reference. I don't know how many people in the audience are going to remember this, but there was an episode of the Magic School Bus where they were like going around to all the planets and stuff. And I remember when they were on Pluto, I can't remember what the circumstances was, but one of the kids was mad about something. And to prove a point, he took off his helmet on Pluto. I don't know why. He certainly proved something. But I just remember the visual that the second he turned it off, his entire head was just encased in ice. And then I think the episode ends they immediately get him back to the bus, they get back to Earth, and then he's defrosting and he has a cold or something. So
now, here's the thought that flashed through my mind as you momentarily paused there. It's like the Magic School Bus visits the 9 circles of hell.
Yeah, I guess I guess I could have timed that out better. I was just thinking about space. I forgot about the context of what we were watching. So,
and here, kids, is Dante Alighieri.
That could be interesting. I could see that being maybe an SNL parody of the Magic School Bus. I don't know if that's still relevant. I don't know if the Magic School Bus has done anything in the past 25 years or so, but that's the one that always stuck out to me, was this kid just dying to prove a point on Pluto. So, anywho.
Talk about way off topic. Anyway,
today we're on episode 10, which is Love and Monsters.
And did you not mention to me last week that this is one of the most reviled episodes?
It's an infamous episode.
Infamous. Okay.
Yeah. We will have no prior judgment. I have prior judgments, obviously, but we'll have no prior judgments going in. We will judge it purely as a piece of media. And we'll see. We'll see what you think of it.
Okay.
But it is certainly an infamous episode in Doctor Who. So, you got anything else?
I got nothing.
Then we might as well stop talking about the Magic School Bus and jump right into this episode of Doctor Who.
You seen him? There he is! Go! Where is he? What's that? Oh, you couldn't look out!
Sure. Go towards the door with a mysterious light and a snarling sound coming from underneath it.
Oh, yeah.
This guy looks like a younger version of Sting from the group and the Police.
It went, "Rah!" And if you think that was the most exciting day of my life, wait till you hear the rest. Oh boy.
Oh no, he's a YouTuber. The worst possible people. The funniest part of that is that's not even true anymore. If this was made nowadays, that would be vertical video and he'd be on TikTok.
Yeah.
Come on. Eat the food. Come on. Look at the lovely food. So nice. Isn't it? Yes.
Looks like a draconian.
Have some boy. Hold on!
Oh no. Now it's a Scooby-Doo episode.
But be warned, because it is gonna get scary. I need a remote control zoom. I'm having to pick up the lean. That's scary.
My good friend Ursula Blake on my brand new camera. That was my family home down there.
Got the fisheye lens.
But this
Okay, first things first. My name is Elton, not to be confused with. I left school. Shop window dummies come to life.
Christmas Invasion.
That was the first episode.
Oh,
I survived. Obviously.
The Christmas Invasion was the evil
12 months
Santas.
later, I'm back in town.
Oh, that's
I'm
right.
up west, looking for a new suit, something nice and smart. When I hear this plane overhead,
That's with the Slitheen. And the Sycorax.
if there's one thing I really, really love, then it's Jeff Lynne and the Electric Light Orchestra. Because you can't beat a bit of ELO.
the Rhine and Spine stays mainly on the plane.
This is how we know it's old YouTube. Because he didn't get copyright hit for this.
Mr. Skinner, first name Colin, but we always called him Mr. Skinner. I don't know why, we just did.
To me, the Doctor isn't a man, he's more a collection of archetypes.
Then there was Bridget.
All these different doctors come and go, but the single constant factor is this faux police box. It keeps cropping up throughout history.
She lived way up north, but she travelled down without fail. Bless bliss, we used to say.
What he could represent and what he should represent and what he never won't represent, sort of thing. We should have a name.
London Investigation and Detective Agency. Linda for short.
Say it again.
London Investigation and Detective Agency. Fish and chips. Rock and roll. Chakademus and pliers.
Ed, and Eddie.
Solomon.
I like the...
With the men from Linda.
I come down to London every week and I just keep looking for her.
I gave my love a chicken. It had no home. I gave my love a cherry.
It's a bit of a tonal whiplash.
Oh, Lord.
Don't bring me down.
Yeah, I suppose.
All of a sudden, without anyone saying so, we were working for Victor Kennedy.
Look at all this stuff he has.
And we had to admit, Woolwich, police box, red bucket, blue bucket, police are stupid, etc.
Useless!
I just froze.
You met him, and you froze, you stupid man!
You can't hit me, because you don't touch your head, so you get a rash and an
I
itch.
can use this!
Use that cane on him and you'll get one hell of a smack off me! And then a good kick. Is
Good
that
kick 'em.
completely understood, Mr. Kennedy?
Duly noted. Ursula Blake. Most likely to fight back.
That's so suspicious.
When it comes to Doctor's companion, the Torchwood files are strangely lacking. Seems the evidence has been corrupted. Something called bad wolf virus.
To scour the mean streets, to search a major capital city for an unknown girl, to hunt down that face in a seething metropolis of lost souls, to find that one girl in 10 million.
Oh, that's Rose Tyler. She lives just down there, back of house number 48. And mother's Jackie Tyler. Nice family. A bit odd.
Oh, that worked out.
I've been trained for this. Victor Kennedy's classes covered basic
In the United States, they're now called laundromats, but back in the 50s, they were called washaterias.
Find some excuse to start a conversation. Step 2. Without provoking suspicion, get on first name terms with the target.
My name is Jackie, by the way.
Ingratiate yourself with a joke or some humorous device.
I tell you what, Elton. Here we are, complete strangers, and I'm flashing you my knickers.
Step 4. Find some subtle way to integrate yourself into the target's household.
Mind you, I'm only down here because my washing machine's knackered. I don't suppose you're any good at fixing things, are you?
Here we are.
All according to plan.
Fuse.
I used to have this little mate called Mickey. He did all that stuff. He's gone now. Bless him.
Well, if you need me, give us a call. I'll jot down my number.
Well, you do that and I'll make us a cup of tea. Come on, go sit down. Put the telly on if you want. Can't bear it silent.
This makes me realize they are just a worse version of Mickey.
That's amazing. You've achieved steps 1 to 4 in precise order. How did you manage it?
Well, I had to work very hard. She keeps everything very close to her chest.
That's a hell of a chest.
How do you move on?
And if you get your way, might there be more little kisses between the two of you?
I think there might.
I knew it.
That's brilliant.
Now, let's not get excited. We'll see.
Don't get your hopes up.
The amount of things that needed doing. It's like that flat was jinxed.
What could be causing all of these problems?
My daughter won't be coming back tonight. Just in case you're wondering. We've got the place to ourselves.
Right.
Yeah, we can see just how handy the man is.
Oh, look, you must be boiling. Oh, look at your shirt. Sorry.
I'm fine. It's all right.
Ruined it.
No, honestly, it's fine.
Take it off. I'll put it in the wash.
Oh, come on. It's only a little drop.
There now.
Subtlety is over.
Ruined.
The perfect infiltration. Target, Jackie Tyler.
Come on, pump yourself up.
I don't know where she is. Anything could be happening to her, anything. And I'll just go a bit mad. Put your shirt back on.
There's a sudden cold front.
And that's when it struck me. Funny the things you think of with your shirt off. But that's just you and me as proper mates. Yeah? Mates. Go on. Say yes.
Yes.
All of a sudden, a lot of things made
Good job,
sense.
Elton.
I got so lost in conspiracies
Such a small
and
pizza.
aliens and targets.
Yeah.
I've been missing.
Because it's never me, is it?
No, but that's how it started, but I changed my
Let me
mind.
tell you something about those who get left behind. Because it's hard. And that's what you become, hard. But if there's one
Well,
thing
that's what
I've
he
learned,
was about an hour
it's
ago.
that I will never let her
Yikes.
down.
You'll never know what he was doing. The doctor. You'll never know what he was doing in your house all those years ago.
No. I'll never know. Ursula, get your stuff. Mr. Skinner, are you coming? Not to the Chinese, if you don't mind. Just sort of, I certainly am.
Look at your hands.
Look at the rest of me. You've dabbled with aliens. Now meet the genuine article.
Yeah.
Oh my
Eh.
Ursula, is that you?
That's Mr. Skinner.
What about Bliss? Where is she?
I said you really don't want to know.
So,
Ugh.
some sort of
You're gonna let them go if I have to beat them out of here.
Oh, no, please don't hit me. Look at me, I'm such a slow and clumsy beast. Please don't hit me.
To hit him, never hesitate.
Give them back.
What? You mean like this? Just one touch. That's all it takes.
Yeah.
Leave her alone!
Yeah.
It tastes like chicken.
Yeah.
Save yourself, boy!
Run for your life!
Oh, that he's really fast. I feel like you could climb that, man.
At last, the greatest feast of all, the Doctor.
Interesting. Sort of absorbatrix. Absorb. Clone. Absorber.
Absorber, yes.
Is it me or is he a bit slimy?
Not from Raxacoricophalopatorius, are you?
No, I'm not the swine. I spit on them. I was born on a twin planet.
Really? What's the twin planet, Raxacoricophalopatorius?
Clon.
Clom.
Clon,
Eh.
yes.
Ew. Yeah.
Bye-bye, Elton. Bye-bye.
Oh, that's not traumatizing in the least.
Elton! Fetch a spade!
Even then, after all that, the Doctor saved me one last time. Here she is.
Could be worse. At least I'll never age. And it really is quite peaceful. You'd be surprised.
It's a relationship of sorts. We manage. We've even got a bit of a love life.
Oh, let's not go into that.
And I don't care what anyone thinks.
Oh, that's
I love
good.
her.
Like talking to a brick
The
wall.
thing is,
Eh. Oh, you got the zoom.
even bought remote zoom. The truth is, the world is so much stranger than that. It's so much darker. And so much madder. And so much better.
So,
Your thoughts.
well, first of all, the Absorbaloff. Did you ever see a film called Weird Science?
No.
Well, it's about these two young high schoolers who use their computer to conjure up the girl of their dreams. But they also have a party at their house, and some Mad Max Road Warriors come in, and they... But one of the kids has an older brother who constantly bothers them, and at one point they turn him into something that looks exactly like that, except he's got like pustules that pop out all over the... So he looks a lot like Chet from Weird Science. It was funny. I mean, it was silly. It was certainly not anything as serious as we have seen in previous episodes. You know, it's no Dalek. You know, but it was fun. You know, it for what it was fine.
Being this is the first time I've watched this since I originally watched it in 2018. I've seen worse. I've certainly seen worse episodes of Doctor Who.
Yeah.
So, and I have seen people over the past few years saying pretty much that there are worse episodes than this, but this one was the very infamously bad one for a number of years.
Well, and again, I think what the complaint would be is that it didn't seem serious.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of the episodes we've seen, both with Eccleston and with Tennant, have that. I've been talking about how they have that undercurrent of humor, and that was in many ways sorely lacking in a lot of classic Who, but it's not out of place. Tennant himself has a very wicked sense of humor. Eccleston had a sense of humor. So to me, it's not as out of place as I think some of the hardcore fandom would think.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's definitely a thing watching it again where it's honestly, it's not bad, but the first part of it, it's not amazing. I will say it kind of falls apart at the climax where it's like, well, here's the Absorbaloff, and it's like, okay, big old fat guy running at you with faces on him. It's like, okay, and then, the melts. You get this really dark moment of like, oh yeah, I was there, and that because your mom died, and it was like this really sad thing that Elton forgets, and then again, just the tonal whiplash of that going to, by the way, Ursula's still alive. She's just a face slab. And they're still doing it, and it's all right. And
I kind of thought he was going to, like, because she had been absorbed into the earth, that it might have grown up into a tree or something, and that her face would be in the tree. I didn't expect her to still be alive. That was kind of weird.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was weird, but it was funny. Again, we've seen a lot worse.
Yeah, it's not boring.
No.
And there have been Doctor Who episodes that are just boring to watch, and will put you to sleep. So I can at least say it's better than those.
Yeah.
And yeah, now I think also with the Absorbaloff, people pointed out that apparently it was like some sort of a contest where kids could send in designs for aliens, and that's the one that won.
Well, he also reminds me, you have seen Spaceballs.
Yeah.
He does look a lot like Pizza the Hut.
Yeah. And I mean, just the whole, the faces being a part of his body, and, poor Bliss, being on the worst possible place. It's just, it's strange. It definitely feels like, at the very least, this feels like an episode kind of for kids, for that kid that made the design. Now, granted, I say that, and then there's also the scene of Elton pumping himself up because he's about to bang Jackie, and it's like, that's not really for kids, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. But, I mean, seriously, go back to the original Star Trek, The Trouble with Tribbles. That was a very humorous episode. Anything with Harry Mudd in it. And what was the other one? A Piece of the Action, where the Enterprise crew beams down to a planet that had been visited by Earth people before, left behind a book that was like, gangs of Chicago in the early 20th century, and so the entire culture had developed into these, Al Capone types. And, of course, the only way to beat them or to get them to come together is to Kirk and Spock take on the personas of, a couple of enforcers.
Yeah.
We're the feds.
Those episodes of the original series where it's like, what are we going to write this week? Well, they're shooting a gangster show, down the lot. Or there was the one where it's like, there was the renegade Starfleet admiral that really liked the Nazis, and he created a whole Nazi planet, and it's like, okay, clearly they were doing, a historical drama set in World War II, so it's like, well, just put that on Leonard Nimoy and we can call it an episode. So,
but there's a lot of science fiction that does that. I would be hard pressed to, just off the top of my head, think of, but having an undercurrent of humor, that is an episode that a very young Douglas Adams could have written. All right, when you go back and look at Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, it is incredibly funny. It's weird as hell, but it's very, very funny. One of my favorite things ever is the guy who's traveling through time because he's made it his, I guess he's an immortal, I can't remember exactly, he's immortal or something, and he has made it his task to keep himself from getting bored. He's going to go through time and insult everyone in the universe in alphabetical order. And just that concept is incredibly strange and yet weirdly funny at the same time. So this one did not bother me. because it was entertaining. Yeah. It didn't show much of the Doctor and Rose. I mean, they were kind of peripheral to the whole action.
Yeah, so this is the first example of a Dr. Light episode where we start having these now every season where we'll get one episode where I guess Tennant needed a vacation or something, or they just couldn't, maybe they couldn't afford to pay him all 13 episodes or something, but they'll do these episodes where they scale back, maybe probably because it's very low production costs. I'm sure just they had a warehouse at the BBC. The set, for that set, just put in some desks, some globes and stuff like that clearly Mr. Kennedy didn't need, but you put it in there and it's like, oh, okay, it all kind of works. So it's a very lower budget episode. Yeah. And yeah, you don't need to have Tennant and Rose there the entire time. So,
and I remember there were some Hartnell episodes, and probably some of the other Doctors as well, because back then they were literally doing 50 episodes a year, where they needed to give the Doctor a week off, so they'd like pre-record a couple of very small scenes, and then Hartnell or Troughton or Pertwee would take the week off. So, so I mean, again, none of that bothers me. Would I rate this in the top 10 episodes? No. Would I rate this in the bottom 10 episodes? No. It's, like I say, it was fun. It was engaging. Obviously, I enjoyed myself because some of the humor is so incredibly juvenile. But I love juvenile humor. I used to say one of the reasons why I was such an effective teacher of sixth graders is because I have a sixth grade sense of humor. I have the humor of an 11-year-old. And some people have said, I am an 11-year-old. I just got 62 years history with that.
Well, yeah. So
62 years of experience.
Yeah. So honestly, it's like watching this again. It's like it's not that bad. I understand if someone doesn't like it, but and I will say it's also the tonal whiplash of going from a two-parter about the actual devil in space to going to Linda and the Absorbaloff.
Now, again, I've been reading, not just about the new Who, but also in Classic Who, that sometimes these episodes were filmed but then shown out of order, and that's why there's some inconsistencies in the continuum of it. So this, I mean, I don't know. I'd have to look it up to see, was this one filmed after Satan Pit and the Impossible Planet, or was it filmed before? And it's just, that's where they happen to stick it in.
The only thing about this episode in terms of continuity is Jackie saying, well, Mickey's gone now. So it's, it would have to still be after the Cybermen two-parter, but after that, you can just put it at any point in this season, and it pretty much works. So,
and did the Doctor and Rose come back? I'm wondering, I can't remember how Jackie knows that Mickey's gone. Did Rose tell her actually on screen, or are we assuming that was a phone call from somewhere?
Well, at the end of that two-parter, I think they went back to Jackie's place, and they say, it's like we went somewhere. We've been gone a while, and we need a bit of a break. So it's implied that she would have told her off screen. Okay. So I'm pretty sure that's how that two-parter ended. It was only a few weeks ago, or like a month ago. You'd think I'd remember that, but yeah, I think that was it too, because they went home because there was also the whole thing of that universe's Jackie Tyler being converted into a Cyberman, so it was good to go back to the apartment. So or the flat, I guess, as they would say. So yeah, it's honestly, it's not the best, it's not the worst. It kind of reminds me of when I think we watched the Space Pirates. That was like one of the last episodes with Patrick Troughton, and we kind of had the same thought with that one of like, it's not really bad, it's not really good, but it was just like, it's for what it was, whatever. Yeah. And that ended up being like the most positive review of the Space Pirates, apparently. So I'm going to guess it's kind of like that, where we're like, it's not really good or amazing or anything, but it's not really bad. It's just kind of mid-level.
And I'm reminded that when we saw the first Sontaran episodes set in the medieval times, and at one point there was a chase around the castle keep, and shown at regular speed. It was silly, but it wasn't. But then I remember you went back and speeded it up and put the Benny Hill chase music underneath
because you mentioned that like during that scene, and so I was like, okay, well I could do that, and then I just put in that as an edit. So
it's all just a matter of perspective, because you remember, I love the Sontarans, especially that first time that they came down. What was that, the Iron Warrior or something like that?
The Time Warrior, I think.
Could be, yeah. Anyway, because one of the guys' name was Iron Garon or something like, I don't know. But anyway, I love the Sontaran. I think the subsequent episodes weren't as good as the original.
Yeah.
But again, it's a matter of perspective. You look at this, and if you say, I think that Doctor Who should just be serious science fiction, then I can understand why you'd be upset with this.
Yeah.
But, you can't take it that seriously.
Yeah, I think it's also, for me, like, the difference between watching this in 2018 and 2024, like, the two versions of me are significantly different, because, like, the more shows I've watched, like, I've started to notice this, like, with the anime that I'm watching, where it's like, I don't really want the super serious anime anymore and stuff, and the super serious shows. Like, I've enjoyed some of those shows, but with the exception of, like Vinland Saga is the only one recently where it's, like, kind of, very serious, but even that kind of has some humor in it. But it's like, other than that, it's like, I kind of want to watch the goofier stuff nowadays, And, like, I've just kind of grown, I don't know, I've gotten older. I'm 7 years older than I was when I started this, and I'm just kind of looking at it like, you know what, I want to have fun, and watching that, even though going in knowing this is not a really good episode, just watching it, I'm like, you know what, it could have been a lot worse, and watching some of the situations with Elton is funny. So yeah, it's, I don't know, it's fine. It could be worse. Totally unrelated. Next time, the next episode is called Fear Her. I wouldn't say it's an infamous episode, but it's a talked about episode.
Okay.
Of a similar vein to this one.
Well, do you want to show the preview, or do we not do that?
Nah, we don't need to show the preview, but it's another one where there are opinions on the episode, basically. I mean, there's opinions on every Doctor Who episode, but that's another one. And then I think after that, is the 2-part finale. Spoiler alert, it's a 2-part finale, but you probably could have figured that out. And then after that, I think I had to go in and, like, figure out, like, my schedule for Christmas and everything. And initially, I just took one full week off, and then I realized that would mean putting a week between the 2 parts of that finale, and I thought, well, I can't do that. So I think the way I've figured it out is we're just going to go through the end of this season, then we're going to take a week off from that, and then we'll be back with, ironically, the Christmas special. So we're going to watch that in January. And then I've just kind of decided we're going to do a tour of Torchwood and the Sarah Jane Adventures, which means some stuff from like 4 episodes of season 1 of Torchwood, 4 episodes of season 2, and then like 3, maybe 4 episodes of the Sarah Jane Adventures.
Okay.
And this will be spread out like across pretty much the next like 4 seasons of Doctor Who, and we'll put a couple weeks between each of them, but that's basically how it'll work out, because I just can't be bothered to actually go through and add the entirety of Torchwood back. Yeah. And from most of the people that I've heard, they don't want to watch the entirety of Torchwood again. So we'll hit the highlights, and some of the good and not so good highlights of Torchwood, because there is at least, there are some episodes where it's like, I want to watch those again because those are really, really good. And there's one episode in particular, and everybody out there who's seen Torchwood knows it. There's one episode that is kind of like this, but it's just the weirdest, stupidest episode of Torchwood. So we'll throw that one in too. But yeah. So that'll be in the new year. And
now, are Torchwood and Sarah Jane hour-long?
Kind of. So Torchwood is the same length episodes as Doctor Who. The Sarah Jane Adventures does half-hour episodes, but they do 2 parts to each story, so it's basically the same thing. Okay. So for those, although I think the first one they did, the pilot episode, is just a straight 45-minute run, and then the others are 2-parters. So, but we're not going to watch the whole shows. Okay. There will be some people disappointed by that, but it's just not in the cards to do the whole thing, and for a lot of it, it's not worth doing the whole thing, at least for Torchwood. So, but that'll be in the new year. Other than that, this year we'll finish out season 2, and then we'll take our break. So, you got anything else?
I got nothing.
Then that is basically it. I'll be curious to see what the comments are on this one. With all of that being said, we're Alex and Dad from 7th Hour Films, and we will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. There's a bunch of links on screen if you want to go click around any of those. There's a playlist with all of our modern Doctor Who reactions, as well as another playlist for all of our Doctor Who reactions that are on the channel. There's also a subscribe button and a Patreon button on screen, as well as other links in the description if you want to go check out any of those. See you guys later.